some interesting routing and divergences possibilities right from the beginning.
It looks like we are underway. 3 of our 4 runners electing to start from Link's house and 1 from the sanctuary. Everyone's still going straight for the uncle. I
would
don't
imagine.
understand.
So we see one of our runners waitwords killing a guard on the way to Uncle to check the tree pool here. 5 rupees, not the best one, but it's not too bad.
Well,
at the least, he got some money from it.
Our uncle knows how to read, apparently. Kermit's going for the Houlihan opening, which is very interesting. There are some modes I like to do the Houlihan opening in. Open mode is not one of them.
So with that opening, I would imagine we might see a routing into Kakariko from the north, then having the money, you can buy the bombs straight away, or maybe even buy bombs to go to South Shore straight away.
Yeah, who knows? But all of our runners now have the bottle in Link's house, which will give them access to the sick kid, which, as we could see, Kermit was... his file name sort of reminded him, hey, go do the sick kid.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be unfortunate to find that after clearing out Kakariko for sure. So we saw Big Danka checking out the triple here as well. Not doing the first one before Uncle, so I guess that's a pretty good way to do it as well, in case you get the bombs or the money that you need straight away from Uncle.
Mm-hmm. So that is a blue rupee, if I'm not mistaken, on the Lumberjack Cave, so no reason to head back there. Interestingly enough, all 3 of our runners here, after starting from Sanctuary, went straight to Lumberjack Cave to check that out.
Yeah, they're definitely in the same mindset in terms of the opening at the very least. And Kermit saving and quitting to Sanctuary as well, and heading for Kakariko and the Lost Forest, it looks like.
So a lot of our runners here picking up the 20 rupees on the ground. Now James is giving us what we want right here.
Yeah, this is an early pet shake, and yeah, I like it. You got the book early, you're pretty close by. But it's just the maximum health upgrade, so
probably that's a heart container.
That. Yeah.
Oh, we've got a glove in the back of the tavern for Big Dunka. We note that he went directly south toward the south end of Kakariko Village in order to be able to purchase some bombs. Gets the sick kid's heart container.
Yeah, he just saved a pet pool there.
Yeah, it's true.
So Waiterword's doing the other strategy here of just going straight down into Blind's Hat, hoping to find some bombs here, getting a lamp though, but no bombs.
Lamp and ether, but he's going to have to remember that he left that other chest there. And our bottle vendor has a sword today.
Yeah, that's not bad. But we do have a sword and a lamp already, so that's a bit ominous, I guess.
Uh-oh. Oh, we have sword and ether, which is a combination I love to have for Mini Moldworm Cave.
Yeah, they do have enough magic, because all of our runners picked up the two small magics from the Uncle Cave.
Yep. Ether will one-shot all of the Mini Moldworms, and it does it quickly, which is why I love it. And we do notice that pendants are in the light world. We didn't mention that on the map check, but somebody did find it. We had a, I believe it's blue and red on Eastern and Desert, and a normal crystal on Tower of Hera. So there we go.
Yeah, of course you get book, lamp, and gloves, and desert is a pendant. That's how this is how the game works, right?
Yep, this is the world we're living in. Of course, you may also need boots for that dungeon, so
Yeah.
they may not have given you everything. Though I would not be surprised to see some people head toward Desert pretty soon, just because that book was available that early.
Yeah, it would for sure be an interesting play to see. So I missed, was there anything important there in the race game, Big Dunker just checked?
Well, I don't think he actually checked the race game, but we got a piece of heart.
Yeah, sorry,
You meant the library?
Yeah.
Yeah, I missed that too, but we'll see it shortly, I'm sure. I don't think it was anything important.
So with the gloves now, Big Dunker heading straight down to back of escape.
Yeah, just big 20.
Something we don't see too often if you've been watching the standard tournament. People going to the back of escape too often this way.
It does happen occasionally when you don't find bombs.
Yeah, for sure.
So Dunka finds the small key. Is he going to go to the back? Yes, he is. He's got a lamp.
Yeah, it looks like it. And finding the map as well is guarantees that chest here in the dark to be an item. So.
And Weighty Words following Big Dunka, just going to get a 3-pack of bombs in the dark escape chest. Though I wouldn't be surprised to see the front of escape happen at some point. Though right now it looks like Big Dunka's heading for South Shore.
Yeah, I mean it's a high concentrate of chest down here, so it makes sense. And I mean, getting an early lamp and sword. Maybe some of our runners will try to skip the front of escape until they don't have too many options left, because save that to potentially do an ag update at the same time.
Well, we've got the Quake Medallion in the dam for both Big Dunka and James coming up, as well as Kermit. Now, under the water, just a big 20 as Big Dunka leaves that one lying down. Now, Weighty Words is going to head for the front of escape, like I mentioned earlier.
Yep, guaranteed to get 4 items.
Oh, Big Dunka's getting ether ready.
That's a pretty beautiful kill. I have to agree with that, I think. Oh, there's the hook shot. And I mean, Death Mountain access is a logic.
Yeah. We got at least a Paradox Cave and Spiral Cave. Need a little more just to get up to Tower of Hera, but that's still like, what, 10 things?
Yeah. And Kermit is heading over to Desert. Checking Agnes Cave before going in. Ooh, getting the Math Sword.
Another sword in Agina's Cave. A lot of people are probably going to leave that one behind. I do kind of like Kermit's approach to doing like dam, then go to desert, and then mini Moldorm and Ice Rod Cave. But I'm not sure about the routing over here. Oh my goodness, there's a mirror in Ice Rod Cave.
Yeah, if Death Mountain didn't look good before, it definitely does now. Because now you can clear that crystal as well. Interesting though, they will be able to read what's on the tablet up on Death Mountain, but without the Master Sword that Kermit has, they won't be able to get the item.
Well, I mean, there could be another sword somewhere up there on Death Mountain.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility.
But unfortunately, you'll probably go by the it'll probably be over in Paradox Cave, and by that time you've already gone by the tablet.
Yeah, perhaps. Since they don't have the hammer, it's gonna be interesting to see if they decide to go to the East Death Mountain first or to Hera first.
Yeah, there is that. There's not really a connection between Hera and East Side right now. Unless you want to clip through the wall, and I'm told that's not allowed. But it is very possible, just not with their current equipment. Alright, so we are being told that Desert Palace is not boots locked. And it does look like Lanmo will have an item of some sort.
Yeah.
So Kermit may be heading that direction.
And, ooh.
Turtle Rock is our remaining pendant. It's the green one. 5 and 6 crystals are Thieves Town and Swamp Palace. Weighty Words likes his Link like he likes his games covered in bees.
So if there's one thing we don't have to worry about in this run for the runners, it's gonna be the medallions, because we just got bombas as well from on top of Spectacle. So we have all of them already.
Alright, so medallions for days. And of course that Bombos medallion could give you sort of backwards access into Ice Palace.
Yeah, for sure. Every single medallion can be required in a single race. So Wadeworth's picking up the mirror as well. So Lamola's fight coming up here. I think Kermit is a bit happy that he decided to shake a Guinness cave before going into Desert.
Oh yeah, because the Lanmo fight without, bow or fire rod or ice rod or hammer or something is kind of bad, especially with fire sword. Alright, we'll see if Lanmo has anything. Nope.
Yeah, and the Ether tablet didn't have anything at all, so I guess if that book is gonna have some value, it's gonna be on the Bombos tablet.
And it looks like we've got an item in the basement of Hera.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's a time loss, or it's not time loss, but it's time consuming to do it. But I think at this point, you're just
The only
gonna
way
do
it's a
it.
time loss is if it's not worth anything.
Yeah, and even then, it's only a time loss if your opponents decide to skip it.
So James now working on Trolldorm. This is a non-trivial fight with the fighter sword. Gotta hit him 6 times, and on the 6th one, he's gonna be going twice as fast. There ain't a blame thing you can do about it.
Yeah, for sure. It can be a very frustrating fight sometimes.
James takes care of it, no problem. I mean, it's close to the vanilla Trolldorm. In vanilla, you've at least got boots,
Yeah.
which can sort of help you out.
Yeah, in terms of the sword, it's definitely the vanilla equipment, but
Big Dunka is going to have to turn around. There we go. There is a ped check already.
Yeah, just a hard container on the pedestal. So a nice entry here from the top / lower parts of Paradox Cave, I guess. But using that mirror to just make the block disappear.
We've got ourselves a bug net, but that's not really what Big Dunk is looking for.
Yeah, and in the rest of the Paradox Cave here, starting off with a single rupee and a 5 rupee. There's 300 rupees, but yeah.
Wow, Paradox Cave not paying off at all. I mean, unless you're a real big fan of catching bugs.
Another very excellent fight there in the Lamola's fight. I mean Molo fight. Which gives the Waiterers their first crystal as well. So Kermit at this point is deciding to do the front of escape instead of going up that mountain, and as we know at this point, that's a pretty good deal because you don't have too much about you in the mountain quite yet, but we'll see if they can.
We haven't seen is Spiral Cave.
Yeah, that's true. But the big things we're looking for now is really just the Darkwood access, but we're still 2 pieces away from that.
Well, I mean, we could be 1 piece away.
Yeah, if you want to do Agony.
Actually, yeah, Kermit's already there.
Oh, he's doing the play?
No, I'm just saying
he's
he's at the access point.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I just saw a dark room when he was transitioning. I was like, what?
Kermit could make the absolute madman play and go straight for Aga.
Yeah, it would be quite a brave call to do without going up to Death Mountain or Eastern.
Okay, it was just 300 rupees in the silly basement chest, but it looks like we did get one very important item in Spiral Cave. And we'll see it again here on James's screen for those of you who didn't see it the first time.
Yeah, and that pickup does make the Aga play a bit more interesting.
Yeah, I will almost never do the Aga play without the Moon Pearl, unless it's the last possible thing.
Yeah, because at that point you're betting everything to be on the pyramid. So you can't really check anything else without the Moon Pearl.
I think James is probably going for the front of escape here again. He can't actually access Aga yet. Big Dunka coming out of Agina's cave with his newly minted Master Sword.
Yeah, and unless there's something in Eastern, that Master Sword will definitely be required. I mean, technically, the Master Sword is required later, but it might be required for Aga as well.
And so Big Dunga now exploring desert like Kermit did earlier. So this will be a pretty fruitless endeavor, but there's a chance he decides not to go to Landmo.
Yeah, it could be, but Anamola did have an item, right?
That's true. Landmo had one item. I think if there's one person who, if they explore desert, is more than likely not going to go to Landmo, is James.
Yeah, for sure. They know that there is no pedestal seed, so if they ever come to that situation where they find all the items in a pendant, they can just leave straight away, unless it's the green pendant.
Zora is a definite possibility. Nobody's been there yet.
Yeah, and with that newly picked up Moon Pearl, and also getting a lot of money from Death Mountain, they could fake flip her and get a couple of other checks in as well if they want to.
So we see Big Dunka is going to go ahead and go for Landmo. So the sprites, the top left is a Ganondorf sprite, the top right, I think it's a Robo Link or something. Bottom right is Frog or Glenn from Chrono Trigger. Bottom left, if I'm not mistaken, is the girl from BS Zelda or Ancient Stone Tablets.
Yeah, I can confirm that I know one of those.
Is it Ganondorf?
Yeah. I mean, I know Link, but I don't know which version of Link that is.
That's also Walther's favorite.
Hey, the Valera sprite is awesome. So far, our runners are retracking each other's steps here, but none of them have made the play to Eastern yet, which is one of the most interesting at the moment. It has, at the very least, 5 items in logic in that area, possibly 6.
Yeah, so at this point, if you're Big Duncan, you just cleaned out desert and it was worthless. But you have the Moon Pearl and the requirements for Aghanim, but also Eastern is still open. Which one do you do?
I mean, it's a tough decision.
Looks like Eastern today, and I probably agree in this particular situation, just because, there's possible 6 items over there, and I really actually do like checking Eastern early when it's a pendant.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with
when
that.
it's a crystal, I want to wait for the bow, but when it's a pendant, I don't mind going in there because it might be the only time I have to go in there.
Yeah, you might not ever have to come back here.
Right.
And one of the annoying things when you have to double dip Eastern when it's a crystal is that it's such a linear dungeon. So when you're going in there again, basically just retracking everything you did the first time almost.
You don't have to go to the right side, but inevitably you'll attempt to go to the first chest again, and then you'll be like, "Wait a minute, I've already done this." Like, and you think I'm joking? No, that happens to me almost every time.
It's an easy one to do. So one thing that does make the Aga play a bit interesting is that they do have the gloves and the hookshot. The hookshot has not paid off for them yet. Neither has the gloves, but they combined give them access to the west world of the dark world. Yeah.
So the fact that you have that there was nothing up on Death Mountain like that really does kind of nudge me toward Aga. Because look at this, it was garbage, and the gloves and the pearl and the hookshot unlock all of West Dark World. So yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, you're right. Now that you mentioned the pearl, the hookshot and gloves did actually give it the pearl. I kind of forgot that was up on.
Oh yeah, the pearl was there. But I mean, that could be the whole, okay, now you're bottlenecked, go to the Dark World.
Yeah, for sure.
But we don't know for sure. We still have a couple of things to look at here in Eastern, as well as Zora himself, who is technically in Logic. Though I almost feel like our runners will go to Aga before they go to Zora.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see one of our...
Oh, did we get a perfect Eastern?
For Aga even before.
3 items in the first 3 chests? I'm on board.
Yeah, I would imagine so, since the Big Dunka decided to peace out. But Big Dunka is gonna check Zora first, and we'll do the fake flippers, it looks like.
Yeah, so attempting to do the whole... attempting to get around having to do Aghanim by grabbing as many items as possible.
Yeah, and
this.
We saw Waiterwords shake the island in Lake Hylia there. It was the Cape, almost taunting them at this point. You know what you can use this for?
Oh, that's horrible.
So it's worth mentioning that only one of the things that Big Dunk is going to check here is actually in Logic, but I mean, if they happen to get the hammer from one of the Flippers locked locations, that would have been a way to sequence break Aga.
So we'll see what our resident hobo has to offer us. Oh, it's a flute.
That's a nice pickup, but doesn't do anything straight away.
And now we know why he's homeless, because he's a musician.
But yeah, having that flute overall is pretty great. It's gonna be very rewarding to have later on, especially since it's required for Meyer, but just for the overworld travel as well.
Absolutely. All right, so our waterfall fairy today, what do you got? 5 rupees and the Cane of Burna.
Oh, did you see what's on that ledge?
Yeah, I sure did. There will be no sequence breaking those.
Yeah, if you have the boots, you can sequence break the ledge here at Sora, but just turns out that they happen to be there. But who knows? Maybe we get some other footwear here from Sora. Oh,
well, Zora
yeah,
officially offering the highest quality goods today.
Would you pay 500 rupees, about for some powder?
Yeah. Like, doesn't matter how much.
But that also seals the deal. We have to do Ag at this point, because we can't check powder without hammer or dark world access. So.
Yep. So Big Dunk is going for it. James is actually gonna go to Aga first before checking any of that. So it looks like James and Kermit is already there.
Yeah, and Big Dunk has the front part of Escape here to do first as well. But even though that didn't lead to anything straight away, I think just the information, just getting those items, is still worth it.
Oh yeah. I mean, powder is there, so you just win, right? That's how it works.
You're gonna be able to, I guess not, but if they find Titansmiths in the Dark World, they will be able to check the powder in their first trip into Feast Town.
Alright, so Weighty Words picks up his flute as he heads off to Zora. Ooh, James getting a little bodied by some of the guards here in the dark room. I am not a fan of this dark room.
Yeah, I think that's one of the more rude dark rooms, especially with all the ledges where you can fall down as well.
So our stun prize today is 5 arrows, so won't really need that unless you get a bow.
So it looks like Big Dunk is going into Agony as well, and Weighty Words will probably be very close behind.
Big Dunka making use of Bombo strats in the first room of Aga Tower.
Yeah, and a good question here, Bob. How many blue balls will we see here from Agony?
Let's see. I'm gonna go 5.
Yeah, I can see that. A bit over average, but not too bad. I'm gonna try to be generous and say 1, but since I don't make that call, how many it is, it's just a hope for our runners.
There's 1.
And that's the first one. And all of the runners will have the same amount of blue balls, unless they for some reason miss one of the energy balls. They could potentially get more.
Who would ever miss a shot on Aga 1? I don't know who would ever do that.
Yeah, like who would ever try to use the dash net and then by mistake just take damage?
Ooh, we're up to 4. Alright, so last shot here. Okay, so 4 unfortunate blue projectiles from Agadim today.
Yeah, I mean, not too bad.
Only slightly above average. Or slightly above expectation, that's another way to say it. So, Kermit getting his map checked out. So if you're these runners coming off the pyramid, you've got a bunch of different places you can go. You could go to pod, but you don't have the bow, and you don't have the hammer. So it's going to be very sparse in terms of things you can get.
Yeah.
We've also got the catfish play you can make, and you can also head straight across the river.
Yeah, and it looks like James at the very least and Kermit decides to do catfish as the first option.
Oh. Apparently I saw it wrong. The red crystal is in fact on Ice Palace. I don't know how I mix those up.
I mean, they're both flippers locked. They're right next to each other.
I could have swore I saw left and then bottom, not left and bottom right, but I just saw it again and I was like, no, that's right. Ice Palace is it.
So catfish delivering some money, but our runners are not really running on that.
So,
and James going here with the mirror to check Sora as well. I don't think Kermit did that.
He did not. I think Kermit wants to come back with flippers or something along those lines to get more items. Or, do the fake flipper trick. James seeing the boots.
Yeah, so 3 of our runners on the stream here knows that the boots are on that ledge, so as soon as they get the flippers, they will probably do a beeline pretty quickly there, over there.
Speaking of a beeline, Kermit just got rid of his bees and purchased some potions on the way to the West Dark World.
And not a bad call. Dark World can be a bit unforgiving sometimes.
Wadey playing the song of his people.
Yeah, it's not only the flute that you can create tunes with in this game.
Ooh, and Big Dunka is going for the graveyard ledge. It's a check that a lot of people want to put off, but when you're coming from the right side, it's actually relatively convenient.
Yeah, I mean, normally it's an out-of-the-way location, but it's super convenient when you have to kill Aga and get over this way to the West World.
Oh, dang. That's a bow.
That's a pretty nice pickup. Good thing they didn't go to pod.
Oh, yeah. Now, the sad part about this is if they wanted to go to pod, they couldn't just go directly back.
Yeah, they do have the mirror though, so they could just save and quit to get to the pyramid.
You could just mirror flute to 4 and then just go back in the Aga portal, but...
Yeah, or just save and quit from starters, and you will start at the pyramid.
Oh yeah, we have the mirror. I forgot. I always forget that you will start in the pyramid after beating Aga and having the mirror, so I always end up saving and quitting at least once, and then making this noise, and then doing it again.
Yeah, it tends to happen because most of the times you're not used to killing it, right? So James checking the graveyard ledge as well. It's not going to be disappointed by that. But we see a divergence between Dunka and Kermit. Kermit checking Skullwoods, but Dunka is heading straight into Outcast instead.
Yeah, I can understand not wanting to go to Skullwoods. I can also understand wanting to go to Skullwoods. Without the Fire Rod, you won't be able to complete Skullwoods.
Yeah.
And you will need to.
Yeah, it's a pretty fast shake, but at the same time, yeah, you're probably not going to be able to full clear it.
And Kermit is unfortunately going to have to go visit the pinball room to get out of here. This is why a lot of times I don't like to go bottom left hole first. So if you go in the front door, you can check a chest on the right. And if it's a small key, you can just go left and not have to come down here at all. And in this case, it is a small key, so Kermit could have saved him a little trouble. Saved himself a little trouble.
Yeah.
Alright, so Big Dunka is now in Thieves Town. We've got the big key in the very first chest.
Yeah, and
just a big 20 in chest number 2.
It is a completable dungeon at this point, but it's not guaranteed that we will get all the items, because one item could be in the big chest, which would, in that case, be locked by the hammer.
Beatable, but not necessarily clearable.
Yeah. But I think at this point, it's a pretty good call to go to the boss anyways, because it's a pretty long walk back here when you don't have proper Dark World access. And also, didn't get the small key from the first 4 chests, so that kind of makes your odds a little bit better of not finding the small key.
Yep. There's only one other place you might find the small key back here, and that is the chest next to the Maiden. It cannot be in the attic chest, and it cannot be on blind. It can be in the big chest, but you won't find it there. Because you won't get it. Now, Wadey is actually going to go for the vanilla big key chest here in Skull Woods. Oh my goodness, God. It's the hammer!
Yeah, that's a huge find.
Holy crap.
Not only does that give Waderwords Dark World access by proper means, but also it's such a great weapon. It's needed for so many things, so many shakes.
He could clear pod now?
Yeah. Yeah, you can full clear pod and
Thieves
nice
Town
find to get before getting into Thieves Town, yeah.
Wow. Alright, moment of truth. Big Dunk is going to be heading for the Maiden. Let's see what is in the chest next to her. It's the small key. That means the big chest is accessible.
Yeah. It's not guaranteed that it's going to have an item. Could be a dungeon item. I'm not sure if we've seen all of them. I think we saw the compass, but not the map. And yeah, James just confirmed that with a menu as well. So it's a 50-50 at this point if they're gonna have to leave an item behind or not.
So Dunca's going to be crossing his fingers for no map on blind.
Yeah. Ooh, getting a bit low here.
Oh boy.
Picking up the Kano Burnout, yeah, that seems like a good call.
Emergency Brian Strats for the win, and we've got the map.
Oh, yeah.
So
Waiter Words already have
only
an
one who has that
advantage. Yeah, so already have an advantage by that, and if there's something required here in the Feast on Big Chest, that's gonna give them
It could be a Braille map.
One.
Those exist. People asking why Blind would have a map. Big Duncan now going to activate his flute. He picked up off a hobo. Pretty nice routing here.
Yeah, for sure. Waiter Words and it's gonna be able to do the same here. Can even check the powder with the hammer as well.
All right, so Big Duncan now heading to the dig game.
Yep, somewhere between 1 and 30 digs, we're gonna get our prize. And it looks to be the higher amount here.
There's 22 digs for 20 rupees.
$22, eh? That number seems to be a number I've heard before somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know what the significance of that is.
Okay, so here's the moment of truth. What is in the big chest?
A mushroom.
Well, we don't know if it's important or not yet.
Have something dumb like Cain of Samaria or something on it.
That would be interesting.
Hammer was in Skull Woods, vanilla big key chest.
So Master Sword and a book. Gonna see if we get some use out of this book today. Nope, just there to bait people today, I guess.
Yep, Uncle just handed you a book of Jebaited. So, we did have one other runner go to Skull Woods.
Yep.
Kermit did, but he didn't go to the back. Alright, let's have a look at Hype Cave.
Yeah, a fire rod in here would be... Well, there it is. That's pretty great for runners.
Walther.
I take no
Walther.
responsibility for that. Hey, they even got the tempered sword for the Mafia fight.
Nice.
But it doesn't really fix the potential problem of maybe have to double dipping infuse time.
Yeah. We still don't know what's on the witch. Now it looks like Big Dunka is heading for pod, which is unfortunate for him because the hammer's not in there.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate. That's gonna be a guaranteed double dip. So it's gonna be interesting to see what James and Kermit decides to do about this.
So James and Kermit both saving and quitting. James is going to end up on the pyramid. Now Big Dunka knows that pod is not immediately bow locked, but we know that the last thing is hammer locked. We'll see what else is in here. I'm guessing flippers are probably in here.
Yeah, that would make sense. Give them some progression back in.
Oh, how about Titan's mitts?
That's interesting. So if Big Dunka ever come across or are other runners heading to pod as well, but they don't have the flute, so it doesn't really apply to them. But if Big Dunka ever comes to this situation where flippers is the go mode, they should know, since the flute was flipper locked, that nothing in minor area could lead them to the flippers.
Ah, yes.
But we're still a lot of items away from go mode, so that's it's not really super relevant at this point.
Alright, so there's the big key in its vanilla chest, meaning the two right side chests are definitely small keys. However, Big Dunk is going to need to get at least one of them just to be able to finish the dungeon.
Yeah. And actually, I take that back, by the way. A lot of items away from go mode were actually just the Camus from Aria and flippers away from no mode at this point.
Wow, you're not wrong. I mean, I'd like to see silvers, but big deal. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, they have temper, so at the very least, they're not gonna have to do the Master Source silverless if they don't get the silvers.
Alright, so Weighty Words now has that fire rod. And now if anyone has incentive to go to pod, it's Weighty Words.
Yeah, for sure. Might even take a quick float over to the witch first.
Oh,
to see what that
yeah, we could see
from pod
we could see a mushroom turn in.
Yeah, I mean, Thieves don't know pod. So, moment of truth once again, then I guess. There's only two items that would be the big ones to get from this, but
What?
God. I think you're a witch as well, Bob.
No, that's a witch.
That's true.
Ah! Okay, so Kate of Samaria on the mushroom.
This, yeah, this is unfortunate 3 of our runners here are gonna have to go back for that big chest in feast time just to get the mushroom.
Oh no. That's gotta feel awful.
Yeah, and now we actually come to that point where you can skip Mire until you're in go mode completely, because Waiterworks is gonna pick up the Titan Smiths here and just be flippers away from go mode.
So with the Titan's Mitts in here, I'm kind of feeling like the flippers are probably on Dark Death Mountain, potentially in Turtle Rock.
Could be, yeah. They have everything they need in order to get all the way to the laser bridge. And so that's 5 to 6 items in Turtle Rock, and then you have 7 items on Dark Death Mountain as well.
Yep. Spike Cave definitely in logic with the whole hammer and Cane of Burna. Now Big Dunka is going over to the Mire area.
Yeah, not gonna find much here. Potentially a Sword of Silvers, but not much else that is gonna help them too much.
And, you know, it's difficult to say that whether I would have gone for the Skullwoods play like Weighty Words did or not. But I'd like to think I would. I just know I really liked the play when he did it. I'm like, well, you don't have the Fire Rod, but this is sort of a pseudo overworld location anyway.
Yeah, at the very least for our runners here, it's going to be, as we see from Big Dunka here, at the very least they don't have to go all the way around again with the Titan Smiths. You just go straight up here into Skullwoods.
All right, so Big Dunka is going to go for Skullwoods. This will be a quick clear for him.
Yeah, I think the bigger question is when will they go back into Feast Town, because having both Mitts and Hammer, I don't think that one chest in Feast Town is super appealing to them right now.
Yeah, so I think they either do it right now or after checking basically everything else.
Yeah.
I mean, like right after they get the hammer or right after checking Skullwoods, because they're here, or they're just going to go check everything else.
Yeah, this seems like a pretty likely scenario. So if there's nothing in Pendant Turtle Rock, I guess one silver lining could be that they cannot be baited into that at least.
Yeah. And we know that they're going to get to go mode Ice and Swamp.
Yeah, that's a nice one to be able to do. At the very least, Waiterworks will. There's still the potential of our runners finding flippers before Kano.
Ah, so Kermit has gone to Death Mountain and found the flippers.
Okay, that's
in the Super Bunny Cave, it looks like. Big Dunka grabs the hammer and bails, and then turns around and decides, wait, no, I need to go finish Moth.
Yeah. It's even a 5-6 crystal. I guess finding the flippers for Kermit might be a bit bad, because that could put them even further away from going back to face down.
So yeah, I can't imagine any scenario in which the very next move for Weighty Words isn't going to Death Mountain.
Yeah, just speaking in terms of the number of items that you can shake in the least amount of time, that definitely seems like the best play.
So I think he's gonna finish Pod, go straight to Death Mountain, get those flippers, and be in go mode with, like, you know, in a ridiculous amount of time, probably finish in 1:30.
Yeah, I mean, the dungeons that they can go mode is some of the faster ones you can do. Meyer is the big question mark, I guess, because it all depends on where the big key is.
Okay, real quick question for you. Your Weighty Words, you go up to Death Mountain, you find the flippers. Do you go get the boots?
Yes, I would.
Now, I know Kermit's gonna go get the boots. Wait, no, he didn't check. He hasn't checked Zora.
Yeah, he's the only one who hasn't checked Zora. So they don't have any information about those boots. But they will need to check the flipper's location one way or another to get that flute, so it seems likely they will get the boots at the same time.
Yeah, getting the boots on the way to Ice Palace is a good idea. Yeah.
So Big Dunka shaking pedestal as well. Now knows that it's nothing of importance.
It's like, the question is, does the time to pick up those boots, can you offset that with time gains from using the boots?
I would say so. You have quite a decent amount of dungeons left to do. And also Ganon's Tower alone is very nice to have boots in. Like Meyer, for example, has a lot of like long straight lines where you can just dash instead of walking. There's James picking up the hammer. And Kermit has checked every chest now except for that one with the hammer, so they do know that that chest that they did not check when they went into Skullwoods at the first time does contain something. So I definitely feel a bit for Kermit here, because they were so close to it.
Alright, so Big Duncan just picked up his flippers. You know, I think it would have been better for these runners. Ooh, silver arrows as well. I didn't notice Kermit picked those up, but yeah, he totally did.
Yeah, I can see it now, but yeah, I kind of missed that too.
They were in Hookshot Cave. I think if Boots ended up on Lumberjack Ledge, we'd have a broken seed.
Yeah, this is not the no logic showcase. So seeing where Kermit just enters the Dark World, I think we have a Swan Palace play here. And that's like the fear of the flippers, right? They're just gonna let them full clear Swamp and Ice Palace for basically nothing. Except for the crystals. So we're jumping down to the Mafia fight. A bit interesting that they decided to go over here, back into to Thieves Town and Skull Woods, where there isn't too many items that they can pick up at this point. But I guess one fear of going up Death Mountain at this point, the Dark World of Death Mountain, is that if you don't find the flippers in the overworld in Death Mountain, like they might want to be committed to going to Tartarok at that point, and they might not want to go into Tartarok too early.
Yeah. Alright, Wadey is going to go ahead and check the pedestal in case the flippers are there. He knows it's not there. We know it's not there.
Yeah, it had the right pendant for it to be a possibility, but... We see Big Dunka picking up the boots. So that's our first runner who's going to be able to run fast, but Waderwords is on his way up to Dark Death Mountain, so you're going to have to run very fast if you're going to be able to catch him at this point. So the King of Samaria was on the witch's house, and the mushroom was from the big chest of Thieves Town. The hammer to get to the big chest of Thieves Town was in the back of, not the back of Skullwoods, but the I guess the middle part of Skullwoods, the vanilla big key chest.
Right. So there was a long time, or it's going to be a long time before some of these runners go back to that mushroom.
Yeah, and we saw Waderwords picking up the flippers and then stopping for a while. And probably just double checking their items, and yeah, I'm in go mode now. So less than 1 hour and 10 minutes being in go mode, that's gotta feel pretty good.
Alright, so we see Weighty Words going to 8. I imagine this will be into Ice Palace, potentially going to get the boots first. Yes.
Yeah, looks like it. I think that makes sense.
Yeah, Weighty will not be getting the silver arrows, though, unless something weird happens.
Yeah, that was a bit unfortunate, I guess, that they decided to shake the Super Bunny before Hookshot Cave. But then again, everything else in this series has pretty much been the perfect rotting for weighted words.
And I do not believe Weighty Words is going to have any trouble with Silver the Skin.
Yeah, I don't imagine they will too much as well. It's a weighted words is definitely an experienced runner.
All right, Weighty Words picking up the boots. We'll see where he heads next. Since he's saving quitting, you know, he could go to basically any of the dungeons he needs to. I kind of think I might get Meyer out of the way first, just because it's the one I have to explore.
Yeah. It's the only one you really need to think too much about when you're in go mode.
And Weighty set up the spooky glitch. That's another reason to go get the boots.
Yeah, so how much time does the spooky action glitch save?
In Meyer, it saves something like, I think it's like 8 seconds or something, maybe 12.
That's a pretty nice time save, and that's just one of the time saves with the boots.
Whoever came up with the name Spooky Action Glitch makes me happy.
Yeah, it's a pretty fantastic name. Not gonna lie.
Fans of frozen bird tossing can rejoice now. James, now the last of our runners to acquire the flippers. And we'll be heading to get those silver arrows.
Yeah, and Dunka taking care of Helmstar. Helmstar walked really far to the front there, but just doing a bow shot from the side instead.
All right, interesting enough, Kermit heading into Ice Palace finds the butter sword, the first chest.
Yeah, it's a nice sword to have, especially if you're not super confident in your one cycles on Ganon with the tempered. Imagine Weighted Word is not going to get that because they're probably not opening any chests in Ice Palace. But you never know, that's one of those chests you might open. It's a very fast one to get.
Looks like Weighty found the big key. Oh no. Yes, yeah, of course he did. Alright, so we can see what Weighty gets ready to do here for the glitch. We're going to see him pick up the pot and then kick up a little bit of dust with his boots before he drops the cane block. And that allows him to keep a value that he stored from picking up the block, or from having the duck exit the screen at a certain frame. There you go. And that allows you to offset the Z coordinate of your fire rod. It's kind of weird, but it works.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool trick.
See, the thing is, it is actually a z coordinate. That's the way the variable is written. But it's in practice, it's just added to the y coordinate at a later occasion.
So Wade Words taking down victories there. Got a bit low on hearts, but they did have a fairy, I believe, in case something went wrong.
All right, so Big Duncan now heading into Swamp, along with James heading through Swamp as well. Gonna have a nice long trip through here, finding a whole lot of diddly. This is one of those races where just that one routing divergence is going to make the difference between, you know, an hour and a half finish and nearly 2 hour finish.
Yeah, for sure. It's pretty amazing how one single chest can make so much of a difference. Kermit with the butter sword, almost getting the quick kill there. One of the puffs managed to escape, but got that fixed very quickly as well.
Alright, so Weighty Word's going to head in and start go-moding Swamp. We'll note he's not interested in checking any chests here.
Yeah, that one chest that they open to get a small key, that's going to be the last chest that they need to
There's a chance he may open the one in the waterfall room.
Yeah.
Because it's like right along the way.
They may open a couple of chests on the way to get better equipment, but they're not going to be forced to do so.
Alright, so Kermit is doing some flipper checks here, so including Zora, so he may end up going to Hobo to get that flute soon.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, actually not the last of our runners to get the boots. Even though Kermit had no idea they were there. I had some sync action in the top part here, or more or less at least. I'll both Duncan and Waderwords going through Swamp Palace here, but one is in go mode, the other is not.
So I imagine Weighty Words will be passing Big Duncan along the way, just being like, whoosh, goodbye.
Yeah, seems reasonable.
And there's our divergence.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, not even checking the waterfall chest.
Yeah, so then we're probably not going to see a single extra chest pick up for Waderwords before Ganon's Tower. Potentially, we could see Hookshot Cave because it's right before Ganon's Tower and it's 4 items.
I mean, if he goes for Hookshot Cave, he's getting the silvers, but I would not bet on that.
Yeah, when you're go-moding so many things, the chances are that you might have already skipped the silvers at this point.
Yeah, so Kane was basically in the Thieves Town big chest. Kane was in, or Kane was at the Witch, and the Mushroom was in Thieves Town big chest. Alright, so James picked up his flute there. Flippers were in Super Bunny Cave.
I guess the flippers, not the flippers, the flute was by the seed, potentially the go mode item. as the seed wants you to play through it.
It could be the one in the latest sphere, that's true. Actually, I think Kane and Flute are in the same sphere. No, you're right. Flute is one sphere later.
So one more dungeon remaining for Weighted Words before GT. Ice Palace. It's gonna be a quick one in go mode. As long as you do the bomb jumps, you don't need to check any chest at all. You can bypass the big key that way and get a very nice time save. Now, Big Duncan buying some potions. He's in one way so close, but yet so far away from that key.
Alright, looks like James is going to go activate his flute. So, if you don't mind... Oh, he's not doing it. Okay, he's going to King Chumbonkrox. But I have a little something I prepared in the meantime here when the flute happens, since this isn't a tournament race.
Yeah, sounds good.
And since we basically know the story of the seed now.
That we do. So Kermit checked the Pyramid Fairy. Since they had to kill Aghanim, was able to do it the faster way. You can just use the portal at Hyrule Castle. So Kermit is heading to never mind. I think we have a flute activation coming up here.
Alright, here we go. The Duck of Swag is here to give you all some cheer. There's nothing much to fear, but all the same, there's one thing that is true. Why would you ever assume that the silly mushroom had to be Kane?
Well then.
Alright, everybody. So Kermit's going to go finish out Pod. Big Dunka, of course, in Ice Palace. The Weighty Words basically through with Ice Palace at this point.
Yep.
Real sick Fire Rod strats there.
Getting the second part really well played as well, even though basically all of the puffs straight away from the corner.
All right. So that is Weighty Word's 7th crystal. He's going up to GT.
And what will he be doing in GT?
Well, he'll be looking for a big key is what he'll be doing. I don't know if we generally do the big key game in the daily races. Mainly because, like,
I guess we could do without the bot. Like, people can still guess, but...
Yeah, you can still guess.
Leaderboard.
Because, like, there might be somebody ahead of Weighty Words, and somebody could be watching them. So we don't want to have people give an advantage of that for that. That's the reason I would vote against running the bot.
Yeah, seems like a good idea. But nonetheless, Widowers is almost up against her at this point, and we'll be searching for that big key. 22 locations as the maximum. So I'm gonna ask not which location do you think it's gonna be involved, but which number, because that way I know which way do you want them to route it.
Well, the thing is, I always change my route in the middle depending on how many keys I find. So
that's true.
I'm gonna say likely 14, but I think Weighty actually prefers right side, so I'm gonna say, what would it be? Like 17 or something in that case? I don't know.
There's a small key, gives the right side possibility.
Weighty goes for right side, see? But he'll probably stop at the compass room. So I guess it'd be 18.
So Kermit and Big Duncan just picked up there's crystal number 6, but so now the big question for them is starting, like, where should I go from here? Oh yeah, right, Kermit never did Eastern.
You know, I kind of wish the cane was in, or not the cane. I wish the flippers were in Turtle Rock.
Yeah,
because if the flippers were in Turtle Rock, it would have, cut off Ice Palace and Swamp, and
yeah, for sure.
Swamp as a possibility.
Would have been a less punish for those who missed the Earth Hammer, for sure. So 7 chests by Waderword so far, no big key.
Okay, so this is definitely a setup where I would have gone left. Or I actually wouldn't have gone anywhere, because...
yeah. There's a big key. Those, which number did we end up
that with? Would be chest number 11.
Number 11, so congratulations, everyone who guessed that. You can join the Witch family in the Discord, I guess.
Ah, yeah. Because Cold Stare had a small key, and Big Dunka is looking for the Cane of Samaria, it actually did make no sense to do the Pyramid Fairy at that point. Because if Cold Stare has a small key, then the game expects you to have the Cane of Samaria to beat Ice Palace.
Yeah, that's you're right. Might have forgotten about it, but yeah. It's a little bit unfortunate time loss. I think Kermit did that as well. So at the very least, Big Duncan didn't lose any time from that one.
And so I'm imagining that both Big Dunka and James have the Ice Rod now, because James just picked up the Ice Rod in Ice Palace, and I don't think Big Dunka left anything behind in there.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable. Speaking of which, let's give some shout outs to our awesome trackers who's been doing a great job during this race, and especially like the beginning was pretty hectic, I think. So big thank you to Reg and Obscure Jackal for tracking this race.
Trackers are basically the ones who make us look good.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Like I would make many more mistakes on commentary if I did not have someone tracking for me. And that I make enough as it is.
So Reg is not Reg. Reg is tracking. Waiterwords is doing great progress here in Gannis Tower, almost up at the Moldrum 2 fight at this point.
Yeah, based on his previous play, I do not expect him to check any of the chests up here.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Though he'll probably powder these anti-fairies.
Yeah. Who knows, maybe for the memes check that last chest, but I mean, we have no finishers in this race. We have almost 50 people in it, so Waiterwords
to be fair,
could be on a good track here to get the win.
To be fair, I would not be surprised if Weighty Words was basically the only person to single dip Thieves Town. All right, Geometry Wizard time for Weighty Words. That is a triple. Wow.
Yeah, that was.
I didn't think he was going to pull that one off.
Ooh, oh, so close of getting the double triple there.
3, 2, 1 contact, and we are on to Ganon.
Yep, that was a pretty great Ganon fight. I gotta find him. But we are about to head into the Ganon fight now. Don't have too many safeties, but we do have Blue Mail and Tempered Sword.
Oh boy, Big Dunk is going back for the big chest at Thieves Town.
He's doing the play. I'm not sure how many options they have left though, but...
Not much is the answer to that. Weighty Words taking care of Ganon the old-fashioned way. Ganon doing his little dance around the arena. Yeah, sword beams are not a problem on Ganon because they won't damage him.
We'll be heading for the torch glitch here, gets it, which is pretty important since we have to do the silverless fight and don't have the half magic. Not sure if they have any potions or not. But should have enough magic. Even if
should be able to get in like 3 here on this phase.
Yeah, I mean, even if they get doubles here, I think it should be fine, right?
This one will only be worth 2. And Big Duncan picks up his Cane of Samaria, expresses his frustration at the witch. This should be the last phase for Weighty. Oh, looks like he missed there. And there we go.
Ganon goes down.
Oh, and the snipe is real.
Yeah, Wait Words has finished, but in second place. So Glowing took the first place with 3 seconds ahead. Glowing with 1 hour, 35 minutes, and 23 seconds, and Wait Words finished with 1 hour, 35 minutes, and 26 seconds. So I guess if this was in the tournament, it would have been a tie between them two.
Oh boy. Yeah, that was really, really solid run there. Let's see if we can talk to somebody about that mess.
Yeah, and in the meanwhile, well, Wait Words finished there. Big Dunga did pick up the mushroom and got the cane, so it's in go mode now. Just needs to finish Meyer before heading up to Gannis Tower. Looks like James might be making the play into Feastown as well here.
Yep, Thieves Town big chest for James as well. Kermit will be following shortly, I'm sure.
Yeah, Kermit should not have too many checks left to do. Don't have the. I'm not sure if they ever went to Hobo though, so might not have to have the flute as well. Oh, Kermit did get the mushroom. I kind of missed that during the Ganon fight.
Looks like it.
So looks like the flute will be the go mode for Kermit then, because he did not flute over here, and I don't think they shaked Hobo. Just they did all the other checks with the flippers.
Yep, Kermit's sticking to the logic apparently. Oh no, don't go to Turtle Rock looking for the flute.
Oh, that...
Don't do that.
That could happen. We have everything we need to full clear it. And it's a green pendant.
And it does look like we have been joined by Weighty Words.
Hello.
Congratulations, and a little bit of consolation on that snipe. I was like, really? 3 seconds?
Yeah, I feel like I've been sniped so many times that I was kind of expecting it, so I wasn't super surprised, but man, that seat, I'm so happy the way that I routed that, because I know that people would have done some things that would have kind of tripped them up.
I mean, not unlike everybody else on our stream who decided not to go to Skullwoods.
And then the mushroom.
The
mushroom.
Yeah.
That was pretty brutal.
I'm not saying you're a giant luck sack, but you might be.
Yeah, the reason why I end up doing Skullwoods, if I end up doing Aga 1 for Dark World access, I know that it takes a long time to get back over to the west side, so I probably try to be thorough and try to do as much as I can over there. So that's the reason I dipped into Skullwoods.
Yeah. So this is about the only time I've ever seen the bow in Graveyard Ledge where people won't complain about it.
Yeah, that's true. It was in a really convenient spot.
And most of the time, people are like, Graveyard Ledge, that's the worst spot. And it's like, no, it was right along the way. Why wouldn't you check it?
Yeah, and that flute location was, not good at all.
Yeah, the flute location wasn't great, but at least it gave you the knowledge that, like, you know, certain things like the flippers couldn't be in Mire and things like that.
Yeah, exactly. The knowledge is always important in Rando.
So we have one of our runners now going into Turtle Rock looking for the flute.
Oh no.
He's checked every other flipper location, just not Hobo.
Yeah, I can see that if especially if you go to Catfish and Mirror and then check the Waterfall and Zora, there's no reason to go back to Hobo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was so excited because I've never won a weekly before, and I thought I was going to do it.
Ah,
But-
so close, man. So
Yeah.
close. All right, we got Big Dunka finally entering Gen's tower after basically full clearing the rest of the game. Minus Turtle Rock.
Yeah, that was the constellation for him at the very least. It were not possible for them to go into Turtle Rock.
So yeah, just a couple locations that if you check them, you're going to be miles ahead, and if you don't check them, you're going to waste 20 minutes. That's basically how it goes. So anything else you were particularly happy about or unhappy about this seed?
I'm not sure. I mean, I was really I kind of did the light world. I didn't want to do Aga 1, so I kind of like full cleared the light world, even though I should have assumed it was Aga required. And I felt really behind after kind of going to Aga kind of like 42 minutes in. It felt kind of slow to me, but afterwards the seed really just opened up right away. If you did do that Skullwoods dip, so I was super happy that I got the hammer out of there, but also that hammer leading to the Canis Maria, which I knew a lot of people wouldn't get, so I felt pretty ahead, which is really rare in a race, I feel like. So I felt kind of ahead, so I'm happy the way the routing worked out, and it sorry to see that a lot of people probably, didn't dip into the Skullwoods.
Yeah, and something else I think contributed to people having a bit of extra problem finding that cane as well is the flippers being available, making both Ice Palace and Swamp Palace a place to search for the cane.
Yeah.
Yeah, we said if the flippers were in Turtle Rock, people would have had less of a hard time getting back to Thieves Town.
Yeah, that's true.
Then it would have been locked behind the cane. But instead, it was outside of Turtle Rock, just outside.
Yeah, I was actually getting ready to dip into Turtle Rock if I didn't find it on Dark Death Mountain, because that was kind of like the highest density location I had left. So.
Oh yeah, we were definitely thinking about that as soon as you headed up there, or as soon as you got the cane and finished out Pod. We were just like, yeah, I think the next place you go is Dark Death Mountain.
Yeah, exactly.
And then do Turtle Rock if you can, or if you can, and if you have to.
Yeah, knowing that the flippers were locking Meyer was actually really helpful, so I never had to go into there since flippers were go mode.
How? I'm seeing a thing in chat saying that they stole the boots very early on. How? Because I was under the
that's a good
impression you
question.
needed the boots to do that glitch.
That's a good question. I only know the boots setup to get the Zora Ledge item.
If there's another like water walking setup that stores your allows you to store it for the jump down, I don't know.
Yeah, it would be news to me. Oh, James taking a death from Vitreous, but having the fairy, so that's some good news.
Oh, a fairy revival could do it. That would make sense.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
that's-
because we did get that ferry early. Yeah.
Yeah, that ferry was.
I
quite
mean, you'd have
early.
to really, really set that up. Like, because I don't think there are any Zora that spawn down below on the ledge, so you'd have to, like, have one shoot a fireball at you that will hit you just as you hit the water. And that sounds really hard to set up. Anyway, now seeing Big Dunka heading up GT on the screen. Anything else you'd like to say, weighty words, before we continue to follow the rest of these runners?
No, I'm super glad that these races are back because it's not really fun for me to just practice. And if I'm going to do runs, I'd prefer to do it in races so I can at least learn from it, see where I place. So glad these are back, and thank you to you guys for volunteering to commentate. Thank you to the tracker, restreamer. It's I love that these are going on and expanding the community.
Yeah, just, you know, the way that the number of people I've seen doing these just kind of explodes over time. It's just pretty insane. I have no idea when the fall tournament happens, I have no idea how they're going to handle it. I have no idea.
We'll have to see. Yeah, thanks for having me. Hope everybody has a good rest of their day.
Yeah, and GG's.
GG's.
Big Dunka only managing the double on that first formation for Aga.
Yeah. While James is heading into the Ganosaur as well. And Kermit is about to get some bad news.
So
I think they're about to turn in the. No, maybe they already did turn in Pennant, or doing Hobo before turning it in, I guess.
a little bit of a recap here for the rest of these runners. We had Machinex and Zodastone and GamerCow, or Machinex and Zodastone finishing 3rd and 4th. Jay Meacher finishing in 5th, Hayfield Bay in 6th, Durand in 7th, Gannon's Gone Wild in 8th with a personal best for the category, P-Train 24 in 9th, and 1UP40 in 10th, with Varanth landing in 11th place.
Yeah, GG's to all of those. As Big Danka is making a nice one cycle here on Ganon. A bit easier with the Butter Sword, but
All right, so Kermit finally has his flute. He's going to go finish Misery Mire, and that will lead him up to GT as well.
yeah, well, Dunka getting a double and then a really nice setup for a second double here. Taking
Well
down
done.
Ganon without any problems whatsoever. So that means that Big Dunka finishes number 12 in this run with a time of 1 hour 49 minutes and 14 seconds. So GG's to Big Dunka.
All right. Well done to Big Dunka.
So yeah, James finding that big key, it was pretty early on, so I think no matter which route you took, unless you did full right side straight away, you would have gotten that key in not too many checks.
Yeah, going for the right side for doesn't waste that much time in this scenario. still going to be much faster to just go first 2 on the right and then go left. And if you go full left, then you really hit the jackpot.
Yeah, full left or Dark Magician, I guess would have been the fastest ones, but not too much of a difference overall.
Although with full left, you would have needed to find a small key.
Yeah, you're right. Or kill the mini Helmsar, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. James now into the second room of the Gauntlet. Gauntlet known for having rooms full of RNG heavy enemies that all hate you. And also Beamoses. And it sounds like we are now joined by Big Dunka. Big Dunka, congratulations. You're probably the first person to not get the hammer early that finished.
I suspect that cane is important.
Yeah, a little bit.
I mean, at that point, you don't go there because you know that if it's there, you're going to be light years behind. So it's going to be the literal last place to look.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do about that.
I mean, since when does Skullwoods have items? I thought that went out of style 3 months ago.
I mean, V26 is back in force apparently.
Yeah, that Skullwood's hammer definitely put a roadblock to a lot of runners in this seat, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's one of those perfect storms of reasons that you should go into Thieves Town without the hammer. Normally I won't. But because this was the case where the only Dark World access was from Hyrule Castle, the proper way you would probably want to do that is you go, you could check first floor of Thieves Town if you really wanted to, but you probably want to go all around to Hype Cave if you have a portal you can get back to so that you find the hammer first. But just because you don't want to loop all the way back around and make the slow walk, might as well dive in there. But rarely will I'll usually wait till I find the hammer to go in there, just for that reason, because you don't want to go back.
Yeah, and that was actually Waderword's argument about why he decided to go into Skullwoods as well, just because of that single portal at Hyrule Castle.
Yeah, it would have been nice. I just figured I did the hype route instead, because as soon as you go south, you can't go back. But in hindsight, yeah, Skullwoods would have been a better play. Who knew?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to know in advance, right?
So the really unfortunate thing is one of our runners here, Kermit, actually went into Skullwoods, but didn't go to that chest.
That's harsh, because you're not going to think about it to go back either.
Yeah, it's pretty awful.
Yeah, and if that wasn't enough, actually decided to go into Feast Town as well, but before getting to Flute, so got a little bit baited there by the cane into Touch Rock as well.
I mean, you take the hammer and you get it in sequence. This is a really easy seed. There's not much to it. The only tricky thing was flippers on Death Mountain. Beyond that, it was incredibly linear.
Yeah, I mean, after finishing Pod and getting those Titans mitts, probably the next most useful item you could, or useful location was Dark Death Mountain at that point. So
yeah,
pretty obvious. At that
yeah,
point.
it makes perfect sense. And obviously you get the flippers, and if you want to put the time in to get the boots, you probably should. And then, but you're gonna make Dark Death Mountain before you try to full clear Swamp and Ice. 10 times out of 10. So yeah, again, the rest of the seed is going to be super linear. So I don't think there would have been any issues. I was actually, when I finally realized where the cane was, it was the Thieves Town chest, or in this case, the mushroom that leads to it. I was shocked that nobody was done yet. That was why that was the other thing, that no one was done. I was like, it can't be there. Somebody would have finished 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, we were sitting here saying at one point that we wished that the flippers were actually in Turtle Rock, because that would have made it. That would have given you guys a lot fewer places to check before heading back for that mushroom.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so be it.
I mean, sometimes you get that one location that makes 20 minutes of difference in the run, you know?
And it's almost always Thieves Town. That's just, you never go back. Once you commit to that play, you just never go back. Look at that! Addy back on the board!
All right.
So James is in the Ganon fight now as well, as Kermit heads up in Ganon's Tower.
So, Big Dunk, anything else you'd like to say about this particular?
When does V30 come out? Are they gonna change this?
I don't know.
No, it's again. It was just one of those seeds. You commit to the play. You have to commit to that play, and you have to go with it, because if you either find it elsewhere and you're just going to run into it manually, or you don't and you're going to lose anyway. So this is not the first time that Thieves Town Big Chest is bit me. It happens. So be it. It'll happen again.
All right. So we see James, our third on-screen runner, to fight Ganon. He does take a spill, but he has a fairy.
Yeah, did a setup there for a triple, but got a bit too close to Ganon.
Still going to get one arrow in. Oh!
Yeah, that was close. Almost took a fall as well.
Be real careful dodging those fire bats and get a couple of arrows put into Ganon. That's going to do it. James F and X finishing out this seed.
Yeah, GG's to James. Just need to finish cross the finish line here, and yeah.
In
Finishes.
20th place. With
Yeah.
an official time of 1 hour, 58 minutes, and 1 second.
And Kermit heading into the Lanmola's fight here.
And we are now joined by James, who apparently still had all these.
Yeah, some of these bad routing decisions, that's for sure.
Yeah. So the second place runner in the race was featured on stream, and he was the only one to go into the back of Skull Woods right at the beginning. And that, of course, led to the hammer, which allowed you to get the mushroom when you went into Thieves Town the first time, which allowed you to get the cane, and so on and so on.
I got punished for my biases against Pod in this seed. Like, not have the fire rod, maybe not want to hop and do everything in Skull Woods, and yeah, the Pod was clearly the right player.
Yeah, so Pod was a fine play once you had the hammer, of course.
You couldn't get the hammer until you got the fire rod, and you couldn't get the fire rod until you went there.
Well, you didn't need the fire rod to get the hammer, actually. The hammer was in the back, like the middle section of Skull Woods. Right?
Yeah, that's right. I skipped Skull Woods. I went straight to Thieves Town. That's right, because I was fairly low on health at that point, and make that dip. So yeah.
Skull Woods can be problematic for sure. So that's what Weighty Words did, and that's what basically laid out the seed right before him. Whereas everybody else on stream had to go back into Thieves Town way, way later. And I mean, there's nothing you can really do about that. That's not the sort of thing you can ever really predict or control.
Yeah, it's. I'm glad I didn't hot mire looking for the cane. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
That though, I think I had like spike cave left, other than
Yeah, so Spike Cave was there. So we had one little issue with the last person who ran on our stream, and that is they not only did they not find the mushroom and the cane early, but they also never went to Hobo after getting the flippers, and so they actually found the cane before they got the flute.
oh jeez.
And so they went into
went to
Turtle
Turtle
Rock looking for it.
Yeah. I find it hard not to route Hobo in there. I found an easy place to route it in between Swamp and Ice, and I really I was looking for stuff. I didn't want to have to full clear Ice, but I ended up having to. Anyways,
I think he went to like he fluted to 2 and got some potions or something, and then just went up to Zora and Waterfall Cave because he hadn't done any of that. And then he
I
decided
hadn't done Waterfall. I
I
did Zora and got. I forget what he had, and saw the boots, and
Zora had the
Boots
powder.
saved me anytime. That's right, Zora had the powder, which didn't lead to anything other than safety. I don't even know if getting the boots was saved any time.
I'm not sure if it did or not. I think it saves time if you're in go mode when you pick them up. But if you're not, you're going to do extra checks, right?
Caused me to check King's Ledge and Bonk Rocks. And that whole section was weird because I felt like I had to. With the first time I went up to Zora, I felt like I had to come back out because I didn't want to have to go all the way back to Pyramid to go loop around to get to Western Dark World.
Yeah, that makes
Bunch
sense.
of time in that area.
Silver's in Hookshot Cave was kind of funny, yeah.
I assume some of the runner, or I assume Wadey didn't even.
Yeah,
get
Wadey didn't
Silvers.
touch them. He got flippers and Super Bunny and saved and quit.
I assume that was close to or was his go mode item. I don't know for sure, but it was very close to it, I assume.
Yeah, flippers was his go mode item. And there we have it. BBB Kermit also finishing here on stream. 25th place was an official time of 2 hours, 3 minutes, and 17 seconds. So, James, anything else you want to say about this before we bring in our last runner?
Oh, it's I'm just happy to not have an ice rod seed for once. I feel like V29 has been very biased to that item. Thank you for the restream. Thank the trackers. Thank the other runners to be able to run in front of people.
Yeah, and thank you, James, and GG's on your performance.
All right. So we'll see if we can get Kermit in here to talk about that. And it sounds like we are now joined by Kermit.
Hello.
Congratulations on finishing this monstrosity.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't too bad, I guess, but I didn't do too well.
So yeah, I mean, there were just a couple of little checks that if you had done them the first time around, it would have saved you about 20 minutes, you know?
Yeah, I think so. I didn't play too bad. I was really happy with the run, I guess. But yeah. Flute was
I'm not gonna lie, I feel very sorry for you noticing that you actually went in for to Skull Woods the first time you went around, but you didn't go to the big key chest, which had the hammer in it. Ugh.
That as well. And I guess I had the boots also pretty late, I think. I don't know. But the flute very late.
Yeah, that flute was just an extra thing that made your routing very unfortunate in this one. Getting the king before the flute was unfortunate for sure.
Yeah, when the first people finished, like, I knew I must have missed a spot, but I still went to TR because I thought I was pretty behind because of all the hammer and boot stuff and that. I don't know. But
I
I'm
mean,
still not too mad, I guess.
yeah, I mean, with everything that you had to check, still finishing 25 when it was almost 50 people in this race.
That's kind of weird, I guess.
Yeah, top half. I mean, looks like the vast majority of people didn't go for that hammer early, which of course is going to cost them ridiculous amounts of time.
True.
Though I will say the Turtle Rock play on your part was just extra unfortunate.
Yeah. I don't know. And I feel betrayed by the book, by the way. Book never has anything anymore.
Yeah, that
Super
was
terrible.
the Sphere 1 book, you know, and nothing.
Yeah.
Garbage.
Did the people who finished like earlier do Desert and
Yeah,
Turtle Rock? I
Wadey
guess
finished
not.
Desert. Everybody else finished Desert. Nobody touched Turtle Rock
Okay.
because they all had the flute well before they found the cane.
Yeah, I guess. Normally, I fake flipper really early, so I don't know why I skipped this stuff, but it happens.
Yeah, I think the point where all of you went to South Shore didn't really have the Moon Pearl, or maybe not even enough money, but two of our runners decided to do that before Aga. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, just in case you get to skip Aghanim by doing that. Turned out not so much, but whatever.
I was debating to do Eastern before Aga, but at that point I felt really behind, so I skipped Eastern and just did Aga. But yeah. I don't know, it was an okay seed, I think. It's not a bad one. Except the book. I hate the book.
All right. So, anything else you'd like to say before we wrap things up here today?
Oh yeah, thanks for commentating and tracking this. I'll definitely rewatch it. So thanks so much, and yeah, hope everyone else had fun watching.
All right. So, thank you once again to Big Dunkel, Weighty Words, James, FNX, and BBB Kermit for putting together their talents here on stream. And congratulations on all of them for finishing this seed that a lot of people forfeited. Let's put it that way. I want to thank our trackers today. We've got Obscure Jackal and Reg on tracker today, and well played to both of you, and of course to my co-commentator Walther the Fourth.
Yeah, and shout outs to you as well, Bob. It's always a pleasure.
Absolutely. So with that, I think we're gonna wrap things up. more daily races coming in tomorrow, including a race that if I'm not running in, something is wrong. There's an entrance race tomorrow, and I'm gonna get on that.
Yeah, I think I'll show up in that one as well.
All right, everybody.
That's pretty awesome.
So once again, thank you all for watching, and I will just say that I have been Dr. Bobtastic,
And I've been Walter the Fourth.
and we'll see you later.